The day is finally here, my friends. After months and months of speculation and rumors, the day is finally here. The Super Mario Bros. 35th anniversary presentation is here, and we got not only what we were rumored to be getting, but quite a bit more as well. Hey everyone, this is Logan589XP here, back for a impromptu episode of the Nin-Cast. As today Nintendo decided, out of nowhere, kind of following their previous strategy of a couple months, where they've just been dropping stuff out of nowhere, kind of like what they did for Paper Mario and Pikmin 3 Deluxe, as well as other things, where they've just kind of, they're not really, basically they don't hype anything up, and they just drop stuff out of nowhere. No hype, no build up, nothing. They just drop it, like, oh, here's something. And it's a really weird strategy that they're doing here. My assumption is because they don't have enough stuff to fill a regular direct for the rest of the year. So they're like, oh, so let's split it up in separate chunks and release it separately to keep the train going, so to speak. I don't know. But we'll talk about that later on. But basically, yeah, so I just woke up. Okay, well, not right now. I've been up for a little while now. But basically, I woke up about 2 hours ago. A lot earlier than I was expecting because my sleep schedule has been kind of whack recently. But I woke up at like 8:30 a.m. Today, here on September 3rd. And the first thing I do every time I wake up, every day, is, of course, check my phone and see if there's any kind of news, for anything. And the first thing I do is I go on YouTube. And the first thing I see is Super Mario Bros. 35th Anniversary Direct. So I immediately clicked, and also I noticed that I saw 3D World stuff in the thumbnail, or at least what looked like 3D World. So I immediately clicked off the Direct, got out of bed, and got over to the computer. I went ahead and I recorded my, live reaction, so to speak, even though it wasn't technically live, because it wasn't a stream, but, my more or less live reaction. I went ahead and that will be up before this video goes up. I'm actually uploading the video as I speak. Once that video goes up, then I will upload this one. I want to have the live reaction go up first. But yeah, I went ahead and recorded that, and I figured, well, I might as well go ahead and talk about it a bit more in depth here on the Nin-Cast. So, yeah, Super Mario Bros. 35th Anniversary. This stuff is really happening. It's been rumored for so long. It was the one thing Nintendo fans were clinging towards for the rest of this year. I feel like a lot of people, as I talked about in my previous video on Nintendo a little while ago, a lot of people have seemingly kind of just given up hope for Nintendo this year. They're kind of like, okay, Nintendo's just throwing in the towel. They're not really trying. All their stuff is delayed. They don't really have anything this year outside of ports. So, and technically speaking, that hasn't really changed, but even as of this announcement. But obviously, this is a big announcement still. But so yeah, a lot of people have just kind of given up hope for Nintendo this year, honestly. And at the beginning of this year, I was like, oh, come on, guy. I remember even at the beginning of the year when people were like, okay, where's announcements for 2020? And time began to pass, January, then February, then March, then April. And I was like, come on, guys. They're gonna have something big at the end of the year. They always do. Unless it's a year where the console was basically on its way out. Like 2012 for the Wii, or 2016 for the Wii U, or the only thing they really had was Color Splash. And we all know how Color Splash went down. Even though I personally actually liked Color Splash for what it was, even as a hardcore, well, maybe not hardcore, but even as a big Thousand Year Door fan, I enjoyed the game for what it was. But obviously, it's no Thousand Year Door. But I enjoyed the game for what it was. But anyways, but you get the point, right? Normally, unless it's the year right before a new console is launching, or the year a new console is launching, there's always a big game. 2017 had Odyssey and Xenoblade 2. 2018 had Smash and Let's Go. 2019 had Luigi's Mansion 3 and Sword and Shield, and I believe there was one other game. Oh yeah, and the Link's Awakening remake. 2020 though, this collection and the Pikmin 3 Deluxe port, or Pikmin 3 Deluxe, I should just say. So that's a bit awkward still. Maybe there really is something for November or December that we don't know about yet. I mean, obviously, as we've seen over the last couple of months, Nintendo has kind of decided to not really do proper directs in favor of just dropping announcements out of nowhere. Even the only thing that was kind of hyped up, so to speak, for beforehand was, well, of course, the Min presentation, but that's different because it's Smash. Come on, you have to hype up Smash. But also the first partner showcase, they kind of hyped up a little bit. They didn't really hype it up, but they announced it beforehand. But everything else, Paper Mario, Pikmin 3, this, And the second partner showcase, they just dropped with no anticipation, no build-up, no announcement, no nothing. They just dropped it. And I think the idea behind that is, hey, if we don't say anything about it, then people won't hype themselves up. And therefore, people will not be as disappointed otherwise. That's at least my theory. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe there's some other reason for why they've just dropped the stuff out. Like, I can understand why they wouldn't hype up the partner showcases, because we all know how people feel about the partner showcases. Even though I feel like the partner showcases on paper are a good idea. It's just doing them right now is a bad idea. But on paper, they're a good idea. On paper, they're a good idea. They're just not really panning out because people are so thirsty for Nintendo content. But they would work if we were in a more healthy situation where we were getting more Nintendo news, and then we had partner showcases as a bonus to regular directs. I think that would actually work fairly well. But partner showcases don't really work right now in the current everyone is so desperate for new Nintendo stuff environment that people have been in 2020. But anyways, enough about that. So let's go ahead and let's actually talk about this presentation. So I'm not gonna say, should I go in order actually? I don't know if I'm gonna be going in order or not. Let me try and get a, again, this is very impromptu, so I'm not gonna really, so I'm just gonna like look on a website basically. Actually, hold on, let me see if the official video has a like timeline on it. That would actually be kind of convenient. Instead of me having to like look through like an IGN article, it's like, here's everything that's in the presentation. It'd be kind of convenient if they could do it that way. No. I'll just use this IGN article. So yeah, it's just, everything announced in the presentation. So I'm going to kind of go out of order. I'm going to save, let's go ahead and get the smaller stuff out of the way first before we talk about, the big one. Because there's two big announcements coming out of this. So let's go ahead and, actually, let's start with literally the first thing they talked about. They announced something that was very odd, but really cool. They announced that they're going to be releasing a Super Mario Bros. Themed Game & Watch. Like, they're going to be re-releasing a Game & Watch that has Super Mario Bros. Built in, along with a couple other things. I believe it has a clock on it and stuff. It's coming out November 13th. I don't know what the price is going to be, but if they're a reasonable price, I might get one, because it actually does sound really cool. I've never had a Game & Watch before, because, of course, the Game & Watch is Nintendo's first handheld from the 80s. So, not that many people probably have them these days, but outside of, people that grew up with them or people that are collectors. But, it'd be cool to have a Game & Watch, even if it's not a real Game & Watch. That'd be a nice collectible, to have a Super Mario Bros. Game & Watch that actually has Super Mario Bros. On it, and you can play it and everything. And has a clock, so that'd be kind of neat. So that's how they start off the Direct. So it was a kind of random announcement, to be sure, but yeah, cool one. Definitely a cool one. Not a bad way to start it off. Then, I don't know if this is the second one. I'm just kind of going in order here on the article. Oh yeah, so do you guys remember earlier, I think it was, no, it wasn't this year, it was last year. There was a fan thing called like Mario Royale, and that was basically a Battle Royale, but in Super Mario Bros. And then like, people thought that maybe they were going to incorporate that into like Mario Maker 2, and they kind of did in the form of the Ninja speedrun thing, which actually is mentioned in this presentation. But they announced something called Super Mario Bros. 35, which is basically Tetris 99, but Super Mario Bros. And it's like kind of weird, but also kind of cool. It's like it's such a weird idea to do. Like, it's like Nintendo saw that obviously Nintendo saw the Mario Royale thing because they took it down last year. But like, yeah. So yeah, this is definitely an odd game, but again, kind of like the previous thing. Cool, it's a cool idea, and like Tetris 99 before it is going to be free with Switch Online, so you're not going to have to pay for it, thankfully. However, one thing that's very odd about it, and this is going to be kind of a trend here, is, for a couple of these things, is Nintendo has apparently stated that the game is going to be playable until March 31st of 2021. Not available, playable. I get that it's a 35th anniversary themed thing, because, 35 and everything. Yeah, because it's 35 people at once. But it still seems a little weird to me, but, okay, I guess. I mean, it's weird, but, like, I can kind of understand, because it's a 35th anniversary specific thing. and they probably don't want to support it long term. It's still weird, but, you know, maybe they'll change it. I don't know, but that's just how it is. But regardless, yeah, Super Mario Bros. 35, weird, but cool, like the previous thing with the Game & Watch. Okay, now comes something that I was actually not really expecting, but it makes a lot of sense. Super Mario All-Stars will be released today, so as of right now, on Nintendo Switch, and of course by released today, what I mean by that is on the Switch well, at least I assume on the Switch Online. Yeah, on the Switch Online, so, you know, if you have Switch Online, and chances are if you have a Switch, you probably have Switch Online if you play any game online whatsoever, obviously. Yeah, Super Mario All-Stars is available right now on Switch if you have Switch Online in the Super Nintendo app, so yeah, that makes sense, obviously, 35th anniversary. Plus, Super Mario All-Stars itself was used for the 25th anniversary on the Wii back in 2010, which I actually own. I actually own the physical copy of that with the box and everything, and the little manual and the little booklet that goes through everything. And I have the disc, I have the CD soundtrack. I still have that. Actually, a couple months ago, I actually ripped the soundtrack off of it with one of my old computers because my new computer that I've had for quite a while now doesn't have a disc drive on it, even though I do want to get a Blu-ray burner for it for other things. But I'm going off track here, so anyways. Next up is these are a bunch of smaller things. There's going to be an event. There's going to be a Super Mario Kart themed event in Mario Kart Tour that will have the original sprites from the game, which is kind of cool. There's going to be a 35th anniversary themed Ninja speedrun course in Mario Maker 2 in November. Now this one's very kind of interesting. They announced that Smash Ultimate is going to be having an in-game online tournament using Mario series fighters, stages, and items in November and December. Now this is really cool. A Mario-themed Splatfest in Splatoon 2 in January 2021 that asks, which one do you prefer, Super Mushroom or Superstar? And this is also really cool. There's going to be keychains and t-shirts available as My Nintendo rewards around that time. Yes, you heard me right, my friends. Physical items on My Nintendo in the West. I think hell is officially breaking loose. Oh, sorry, no, yeah, hell is freezing over, or whatever the phrase is. Like, whoa, physical things you could get from My Nintendo? It's actually worth something? But that's obviously really cool. And then in March of 2021, again, the whole running theme of March 2021 kind of being the cap for the 3D Mario, for the Mario anniversary stuff. In March of 2021, they're going to be adding a bunch of Mario-themed furniture to Animal Crossing New Horizons as well. Now, let's come to... Oh, yeah, hold on. There's one other thing. Actually, no. There's two other things before we get to the last one. Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. So, I was actually kind of, sort of spoiled by this. So, basically... I literally just, like I said earlier, when I woke up, I saw the Direct, right? So there's a new feature on YouTube. It might have been around for a while, but I'm pretty sure it's a new feature where, like, if you can, like, hover over the thumbnail and it will play a little bit of the video. Not a thumbnail, like, it will actually play a little bit of the video. And I saw something, and I saw the Mario Kart HUD, and I saw Mario Kart, but it looked like it was from a weird perspective, so I immediately clicked off, and I was like, okay, hold on, there's something Mario Kart related in here. But I didn't know what it was, and of course, once I actually saw it, when I would record the video, I was like, oh, this is neat, but odd, and I can already see people complaining about this, because, I have to buy a bunch of stuff. But yeah, Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, I thought it was going to be an update for 8 Deluxe, but no, it's not an update, it's actually its own standalone thing, apparently. So basically... I thought at first, was this something that had to do with Lego or something? No. It's not Lego anything. It's literally its completely own independent thing. It kind of reminds me of Labo, but like not. It's not Labo related whatsoever, but it's so basically, there's these real life Mario Karts you can get, and they all have these cameras on them. And then in the game, it like shows the world, like the real world as the karts are driving through it. It's such a neat, it looks actually kind of really cool. If I didn't have to buy a bunch of stuff to use it, I would totally try that. Like, if the carts were relatively cheap, I would actually probably give it a try, honestly. But I'm probably not gonna bother with this just because of the cost I would have to sink into it, like to get that and get the little signs and everything. And it's like I probably just don't want to deal with that. But it looks cool. It looks cool. It's just something I probably won't bother with personally. So that was definitely a very random addition, but nice. Obviously, it's not Mario Kart 9, but it's something, I guess. Before we get to the big one that we all know about because it's been rumored for 6 months, another thing that has been rumored for God knows how long, and we all saw this coming from literally a mile away, Super Mario 3D World is unsurprisingly coming to the Switch, but not this year, which actually doesn't surprise me because there was a rumor not that long ago that the 3D World Deluxe, as it was called, because everyone was like, oh, why wouldn't they call it Deluxe? They called everything else Deluxe. Well, not everything, but like a good amount of them Deluxe. You know, Mario U Deluxe, Pikmin 3 Deluxe, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. You know, they like using the Deluxe name. But yeah, so 3D World Deluxe was going to be coming out in 2021. That did pan out, and the game is not called 3D World Deluxe. It's actually called Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, which is a very interesting callback, if you can call it one. Maybe it's completely coincidental, but it's kind of a throwback to a couple of years ago when Alpha Dream, rest in peace, they made the Superstar Saga remake in 2017, and it was called like Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus like Bowser's Minions or something like that, or Bowser Jr.'s Minions. So it's kind of a reference to that in a way. I'm sure it's completely coincidental, but it would be kind of neat if they like did that as like a nod to Alpha Dream. Rest in peace. But yeah, so it's called Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. We don't know much about it, but I'm not sure if it's a new world or if it's like a new hub for additional worlds. I don't know, but it does look really cool. It's coming out on February 12th, 2021, and of course includes the original game, everything in the original game, of course, and yeah, a new thing called Bowser's Fury. Is it a new world? Is it a new section that has multiple worlds? Who knows? But that's a cool thing. You know, everyone saw it coming from a mile away. Like, come on! Like the second that we got the 3D World section in Mario Maker 2, it was like, yeah, they're gonna totally put 3D World on the Switch. Like, there's no way they don't, especially when they're porting everything else. So that means the only game left, the only big Wii U game left, basically, that could actually be ported to Switch is basically Xenoblade X. Once they get that, they basically have everything that would make sense to be ported. And now, finally, we come to the big one. The one that everyone has been hoping for since it was rumored, like a long time ago. But yes, the 3D Mario Collection is 100% real, and it is called Super Mario 3D All-Stars. So yes, contrary to what I thought they were going to do, the game is actually a bundle. It's not separate, so thank you, Nintendo, for proving me wrong, because I've tried to be kind of the guy that's like, come on, guys, there's gonna be something. Like, I've tried to be kind of the positive outlook. But as the year has progressed, I've had less and less to work with. It's like, I want to be positive, but it's hard for me to be like that when I have literally nothing to work with, you know? But hey, look, we finally got something that everyone can agree on pretty much. So, yeah. And see, I thought that they were probably going to split the game, at least like Sunshine and Galaxy. I thought they were going to split up into like $60 games because I was being very pessimistic and I thought they would do that. But Nintendo proved me wrong, surprisingly. And the games are indeed a part of a bundle. They're called, Super Mario 3D All-Stars. And it's not just the games on the Switch. It also includes all the music. It is a music section similar to the music section in Smash. So that's actually really cool. But yeah, so what is Super Mario 3D All-Stars specifically, though? What exactly is in it? Well, all the rumored games are a part of it. 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy. Not Galaxy 2. We'll talk about that in a second. And the version of 64 that's included is the original N64 version from 1996, which isn't really a shocker to anyone because that's the iconic version. It's the nostalgic version. It's the version everyone knows and loves. Even though people like me would have preferred like to have the DS version, or at the very least include like content from the DS version as like add-ons or something. But oh well, it's the original N64 version basically. Fine. That's not really a huge deal for me. but I would have definitely preferred the DS version. But I always knew from the beginning they were going to do the original version, because the original version is the iconic version. Like, there's no way they weren't going to do that. One thing that is a little disappointing, however, is that 64 is still 4x3. I'm a little disappointed in that. I kind of thought it was going to be 16x9, although the next game is 16x9. But yeah, 64 is only 4x3, but it does have a higher resolution, so that's good. But honestly, 64 was always kind of like a side attraction to me compared to the other two. Like, I still like 64, of course, it's a classic, but you know, but I always cared about Sunshine and Galaxy far, far more, because I grew up with those games like more than I did 64. Like, I grew up with 64 DS. Not really 60. I mean, I played the original version of 64 back in the day, but you know, not. But 64 DS was the version I primarily grew up with Sunshine and Galaxy being the games I grew up with in terms of the console side. Yeah, so 64 is basically the original N64 version, but with the Switch controls on it, and it's higher resolution. We don't know if it's 1080p. I hope it is, though. But it is still 4x3, which is a little disappointing, but oh well, I can kind of understand why they did it that way. Even though I wish it was 16x9, I can kind of understand why they did it that way. But it is kind of awkward, because there was that fan-made conversion of 64 that was like a native PC port, basically, a little while ago, earlier this year. And that had like 4K, 60 FPS, 16x9, the works. So it's kind of disappointing that the official version doesn't have 16x9 at least. But it's kind of a shame, but you know, ultimately, for me at least, not a huge deal. I care about Sunshine Galaxy far more. And with Sunshine, it's the Sunshine HD we've all been wanting for years. Ever since the Wii U, people have been clamoring for Sunshine HD, and it's finally here. 16x9 in HD, and it looks amazing. So, and the HUD, of course, is redrawn to be HD, so it's not like it would be if you're playing it on Dolphin like I was for the Arcade 2 playthrough I did on Twitch a little while ago. And if you look in the video, when they show Sunshine, you can see the GameCube controller is there. So yes, GameCube controller support is there. I mean, it kind of had to be. I mean, come on. If it works for Smash, it can work for... I mean, it would work already, because all the Switch games technically support it anyway. You can plug in the adapter and it will work on every game technically. But it's only really designed for Smash. But having official support for it for Sunshine, of course, I mean, it just makes sense. It's a GameCube game. Having GameCube support is there. And if we ever get a Wind Waker or Twilight Princess port, I'm sure it will, well, at least for Wind Waker, I'm sure it will probably support that as well. Well, maybe it will, I'm not sure. But at least for Sunshine, yes, it does support the GameCube controllers. So all you people out there that are worried about, oh, what about the analog triggers for Flood? There you go. Now, of course, the game still has to be playable on the Switch Lite, and with the Joy-Cons and the Pro Controllers, how they're going to do that, we're going to have to wait and see. But you can use a GameCube controller with it officially. It's officially supported in the game. So yeah, Sunshine HD is real, and I couldn't be happier with that. Then we have Galaxy, which is basically it's basically what I thought it was going to be. Like, there were not that many upgrades they were going to do for Galaxy no matter what anyway, because it's kind of like Galaxy still looks great all these years later. There is a really cool texture pack you can get for Dolphin, but even the original game by itself, if you make it like HD, still looks really good. It's aged really well. So I was just expecting Galaxy but 1080p, and that's basically what we're getting, so I'm not really complaining there. I mean, that's exactly what I was expecting. It's all I really wanted anyway. Like, the game still looks great. It was already 16:9. It was already 60 FPS, so just make it HD. That's what they did. And it does support the Joy-Con. You can use the Joy-Cons to replicate the Wii Remote. How well it's going to work, though, we're going to have to wait and see. But, of course, the game's going to be playable with the regular controls as well, so I'm kind of interested to see how that will go. But, yes. So, there it is, my friends. The Super Mario 3D All-Stars. That's what it's officially called. Super Mario 3D All-Stars. 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy. Higher resolution, and 16:9 for Sunshine and all the soundtrack. And it's going to be coming out, believe it or not, in like 2 or 3 weeks. Not October, not November, not December. It's coming out like September 23rd? I forget. Let me look. I forget when it's coming out specifically. I'm an idiot. It's coming out September 18th. September 18th. Like, what? Like, when I first saw that in the presentation, I was like, wait a second. Am I going to even have money for this? Because I've been trying to put aside money for the PlayStation 5 and stuff, but, like, I have to get this. Like, I have to. Especially because I literally have to. And now we come to the one blemish on this whole presentation. For the most part, this presentation was really good. But there's one small, well, actually, no, it's kind of a big deal, actually, if what it really is pans out. There is one small but also huge problem. So, Super Mario 3D All-Stars is going to be available physically for a limited time only. This is kind of a flashback to, again, Super Mario All-Stars on the Wii, when that was a limited edition thing as well. Now that was weird, but I could kind of understand it. But, supposedly, I don't know if this is 100% true, and I really can't imagine this is what they're going to do in the end, but supposedly, from what I have heard, from people just looking around, people talking about this presentation, supposedly, the digital version is also limited to March 2021. That can't possibly be how it works. That would make literally no sense. That would make no sense. Why would they do that? They've never done that before. Okay, the Super Mario 35th Battle Royale thing, I can kind of understand that, but there's no reason why they would do that. For this, it makes no sense. So either there is some clarification, so Nintendo has to kind of clarify what the heck is going on here, because there's no way that's actually how it's going to pan out. And if it is how it's going to pan out, then I really hope that they change their minds. Because even though I'm going to get the game physically, because I have to have it physically, the game, like, okay, you want to make the physical version limited? Okay, I can kind of understand that. But there's no reason why the digital version should be like that. There's no reason at all. Now, the theory, again, very pessimistic theory going around is, oh, they're going to make it limited time to drive up the resale cost for used games or something like that. And they're gonna make all the games separate purchases after the fact on the digital store. And it's like, I don't know about that. I mean, like, I don't know. I think people are being a bit pessimistic with that one. But, like, at least in terms of, like, the digital stuff. Like, I don't think they're gonna make them separate. Or at least if they are gonna make them separate, they're not gonna be, like, $60 each. They'll just make them, like, $30. Like, they're not going to be 20 because then that would literally just be the same thing as just having the collection around. Like, maybe they'll be like $30 or something. I don't know. So, that's definitely something that's kind of a blemish on this presentation, is the whole digital timed exclusive. No, not time exclusivity. Like, the timed digital window. Like the timed physical window isn't really that controversial. It's mainly the digital window, because then you literally won't be able to get these after that point, no matter what. In theory. Unless you, like, hack your Switch or something. So, that's something that has to be clarified, and that's something that Nintendo kind of needs to address. But aside from that, I'm really happy, though. If we ignore that weird digital timed limit thing, if we ignore that, this is actually this is a pretty solid presentation. And they ended the presentation with a little montage of all the Mario games. But there's one thing, however, that is missing. And we've known about this since the rumors began, but this is something that's always been a big thorn for me. Where is Galaxy 2? I get it. It's not as big as Galaxy 1. Galaxy 1 is the first one. It's the one that started the whole thing. I get it, but, like, it feels so wrong to me to not have Galaxy 2 at least be DLC. But that's what I think they're going to do. I can't imagine that they won't do that. Because that'd be really weird if they didn't. Like, okay, that's the one thing I can say, is I think we are going to get Galaxy 2 as, like, DLC in, like, early 2021. Or maybe, like, in December. That's my prediction. I could be wrong, but it would be really, really weird to have Galaxy be on the Switch and not have Galaxy 2 be on it as well. That'd be super weird and messed up. It'd be messed up, just straight up. It'd be a huge missed opportunity if Nintendo didn't do that. So that is probably going to be DLC, hopefully for a reasonable price. Like they're not going to charge $60 just for Galaxy 2, of course. But, like, I'm guessing, like, $20, maybe $30 for Galaxy 2 DLC, quote-unquote. in like 2021 or maybe the end of 2020. But yeah, that's a really weird. I know why it's not there. I get it, but like, I still wish it was there, or at least I wish they announced it at least. But I think that's something that they probably have in the cards. It's something they're going to announce in a couple months down the line, maybe when we get an actual direct, or just in early 2020. I don't know. That's got to be a thing. There's no way that they won't release that. Especially when they made such a big deal of how you can play all of the big Mario games on the Switch, and then they notably left out Galaxy 2 on like the screens and the montage and stuff. So it's like that has to be coming, because it's like, okay, you can play all the old school games. You can play 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, 3D Worlds, of course, coming to the Switch. Mario Maker 2 is on the Switch, even though the original Mario Maker isn't. But it's kind of like with Ultimate. But it's kind of like, you know, Splatoon 2 to Splatoon 1, where Mario Maker 2 basically obsoletes the original game. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna take that back a little bit. Splatoon 1 still has a purpose. I still love Splatoon 1. It's a very nostalgic game for me. But you get the point, right? You know, not Galaxy 2. Mario Maker 2 supplants Mario Maker 1, so it's kind of different. But you get the point, right? And of course Odyssey as well. So like all of the big Mario games are there except for Galaxy 2. There's no way that's not going to come eventually. I really hope that does. So with that being said, yeah, that's the presentation. So yeah, aside from that weird digital time limit thing that may or may not be real, aside from that, this was a pretty solid presentation. We got more than I would have expected from it. I was expecting the 3D Mario announcements and maybe 3D World, and that was it. And we got more than that. And yeah, the Game & Watch thing looks kind of neat. The Battle Royale Mario thing looks kind of neat, even though it's going to be time limited as well. You know, Splatoon 2 Splatfest is going to be a Smash tournament. We're going to get physical rewards on My Nintendo. That's huge. And of course, well, the collection itself. Obviously a huge deal. And even though it's technically just ports still, huge deal for so many people, including me. I grew up on Sunshine and Galaxy, and I'm getting this just for those games alone. Mario 64 is a bonus, if anything. I just want to play Sunshine and Galaxy on the Switch in glorious HD and 16:9. So, yeah, but I guess before we end the stuff, this does bring us to one thing. Well, two things, actually. One, they made a whole direct just for Mario. So, what about the rest of the stuff? As in, like, is there anything else? Or is this Nintendo? Or is this their thing for 2020? Is the 3D All Stars? I'm not sure, honestly. I kind of feel like they wouldn't have made this its own thing if it wasn't it. Like, why make this its own direct if this wasn't it, basically? That's the way I see it. So, I mean, maybe we'll get, we're still going to get more Smash stuff. We're probably going to get a Sakurai presentation later this month or in early October when we get the last character for this year, because I think we're only going to get one more character this year, and then the rest of the characters will be for 2021. But, yeah, outside of a Sakurai presentation to reveal, another Smash character, I kind of feel like this really is it for Nintendo in 2020. They've kind of are like, you know what? Breath of the Wild 2 is delayed. All of our other big stuff has been delayed. So we just kind of have to ride on existing stuff in the 3D Mario collection. And it's like, you know what? I wish there was more. I wish there was a really big game this year, like an actual new game, but I guess you can't really do anything about what has happened. And even though a lot of people have kind of fell out of favor with the whole, COVID thing, is a lot of people have been kind of like, yeah, a lot of people are not really buying into the whole COVID excuse at this point, especially mainly because Microsoft and Sony and everyone did their big presentations, and it's like Nintendo's sitting over here being quiet. And that is a very weird thing, admittedly. Like, why was Nintendo so quiet? Now, here is what was supposedly supposed to happen. All the stuff we've gotten this year was supposed to be at E3, supposedly. Like Origami King, Pikmin 3 Deluxe, Min, probably, and this, where all this stuff was supposed to be a part of their E3 Direct. But because E3 was canceled and they apparently weren't ready to do a proper Direct yet, they decided to split everything up. So they had Origami King, be in May. They had Pikmin Deluxe be last month. They had Min be in June, of course, because they had to, because they already said it was going to be in June. And then they had the 35th Anniversary Direct now, but I feel like the release date kind of gives away that this was supposed to be a big part of their E3 Direct, because it's like, it's coming out in a couple weeks. That's a really short time span. So it kind of makes me feel like they really did plan this to be one of their big things during the E3 Direct, but because E3 was canceled and they weren't ready yet, they had to push it off until now, where they literally had to announce it or delay it or something, and they couldn't really have, well, okay, they probably could afford to delay it, but, people would be mad about that. So, yeah, so we're going to get another real Direct this month. I kind of feel like we won't, honestly. Outside of maybe some Smash stuff, I kind of think this is basically it for 2020 for Nintendo, and they're just going to be like, you know what? It is what it is, but we're going to have some big stuff for 20... Like, obviously, I think Breath of the Wild 2 was supposed to come out this year. I still believe that it was supposed to come out this year. Then COVID happened and it got pushed back to, like, March of 2021 or something. Or maybe even later than that. So I think Breath of the Wild 2 is 2021. I think Bayonetta 3 is going to be 2021. We have Shin Megami Tensei 5 coming out worldwide same day, which is a very rare thing for Atlus, in 2021. And of course, we're going to get more Smash DLC and even more announcements. We have 3D World coming out in 2021. There's more Mario themed stuff happening in 2021, where we're going to probably get the Galaxy 2 DLC in 2021. So, like, 2021 is definitely going to be a good year for Nintendo, that's for sure. But we just kind of have to ride. It's like I said in the last Nin-Cast when I talked about Nintendo. It's just we just kind of have to ride through this rough patch until we get to the good stuff again in 2021. But at the very least, we got this bright spot. And while again the digital stuff is kind of off, it's kind of weird, and we're gonna have to see if Nintendo clarifies that. Overall, very happy with this presentation for the most part. But this also gives credence to the fact that maybe we're going to get that rumored Zelda collection as well. Because, hey, if they did it for Mario, why not do it for Zelda? And considering that Breath of the Wild 2, I believe, is coming out next year, and they've already trademarked a bunch of Zelda 35th Anniversary stuff, I think there's a very real chance they're going to do the also long-rumored, well, maybe not long-rumored, but long-wanted Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and recently rumored Skyward Sword collection. Now, I wish Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask were on the Switch as well, but what can you do? But hey, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess just makes sense because they were literally already on the Wii U, so that doesn't even take that much work. Skyward Sword, again, like they did with Galaxy here, they can have the Joy-Cons work for the motion controls, so yeah. I kind of feel like they are going to actually do it now. If they did it for Mario, they're going to do it for Zelda. So yeah, next year we're probably going to get Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword, like Zelda All-Stars, basically. I mean, maybe I'll be wrong, but I kind of feel like this gives more credence to that. Like, hey, if they did it for Mario, they'll do it for Zelda, especially when it's been talked about for so long. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this. So yeah, I'm overall pretty excited. Again, that weird digital thing with 3D All-Stars is a bit off, and that's going to need some clarification, but aside from that, I'm very happy with this. We got quite a few things that I wasn't expecting that were kind of a nice surprise. We got 3D World with new stuff, and we got the 3D All-Stars collection. It's not split up. It's not $60 release. Well, of course, the All-Stars itself is $60, but we're not paying $60 for Sunshine, $60 for Galaxy, and $60 for 64. Now that would have been a hard sell right there, but so I will say that. Yeah, thanks Nintendo for proving me wrong. I thought you guys were going to split them up. I thought you guys were going to charge $60 for each, and you didn't. I'm glad that you did. I'm really glad that you didn't. I'm really glad you didn't do that, because people would have had a field deal with that. But so yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to have the money to get this when it comes out in a couple weeks, but I'm definitely going to try and get it. And I'm probably, do not quote me on this, but I'm probably going to be streaming at least Sunshine and Galaxy on Twitch when this comes out. So I recently actually finished a Sunshine Arcade 2 playthrough. It's this hack that's really hard. You can go check him out on this channel. In fact, I upload all the VODs if you really want to check it out. It's this cool hack. But yeah, I'll probably stream actual Sunshine as well as Galaxy when this comes out over on Twitch, so be on the lookout for that. Do not quote me on that. I might not do it. Never know. Things could change. But I'm probably going to do at least Sunshine and Galaxy. I might do 64 as well, but I'm going to at least do Sunshine and Galaxy over on Twitch when it comes out, most likely, but we'll have to just wait and see. So yeah, this is definitely a bright spot Nintendo has needed for a while. It's still technically just a port, but it's definitely a big port to be sure. So anyways, guys, this is Logan589XP, and I will see you guys next time.